Hello, and welcome to another episode of This Is Our Year. I'm your host, Michael Kurland. Joining me, as always, my partner in crime, Dougie Fresh. Douglas, how are you doing today?
Top of the morning to you, Mikey.
Top of the morning. Are
It's
you going to
11 a.m.
drink? Are you going to drink at 2 p.m. on a Friday on a Mets wild card edition of
Playoff
This Is
game.
Our Year?
Playoff baseball tonight. 2 p.m. beers are definitely allowed.
Okay, so what are you drinking?
We're getting right to it. Wanted to go Mets related. This one's a bit of a stretch, but I got there, I think. Going back to the Conehead. If Max Scherzer can pitch like 88 David Cone tonight, we're in good shape. So
maybe he just needs to do a little pregame warm up in the bullpen, like Cone
yes,
did.
yeah,
Yes.
de-stress.
Yes, de-stress yourself, Max.
Yeah, and if you guys don't get that reference, I'm not going to say it on the air, but look it up.
Yeah.
Cone was great. That was one of those painful trades during our formative youth, right?
Yep.
That was like the end of the era for the.
I mean, they got it right. They got Jeff Kent out of that trade, right? But
they got that part right.
They got that part right, but then they traded him before he actually got good. So
for who again?
I couldn't tell you.
I can. It's Carlos Baerga, and he sucked.
Oh yeah, cool. Good job, GMs of the Mets. But we don't have to talk about all those shitty years anymore. We can just talk about this year, where we had
our shitty weekend we had in Atlanta. Whoops.
Yes. Our shitty weekend that we had in Atlanta, but I don't want to go negative.
No,
we can go negative in a bit. We are where we are now. I'm glad we probably took a week off because I would have ripped Billy Epler apart. I would have ripped the Mets apart, but it doesn't matter anymore. We are in the wild card round. We're the 4 seed. We're matched up against the Padres at home. I did not know this new type of wild card. You got all 3 of your games at home, right?
Yeah,
and we got to win. I like it too. So you got to win 2 out of 3 at home. And we got Scherzer and DeGrom going, which, we'll worry about the Dodgers if we get there, right? We got to take out the Padres first, and we got to beat them 2 out of 3. We handled them in San Diego when we were out there. I believe we won 2 or we either split with them or we took 3 out of 4, and then I think they took 2 out of 3 against us. So we split the season series with them, or we're neck and neck with them. But my biggest fear is the guy on the hill for them tonight. He has owned us this year. Like, we can't even touch him.
14 innings pitched, one run.
Yeah. So Yu Darvish has been I think has been the best pitcher against the Mets all year. And he throws a hard sinker that he comes right after the hitter. So, the Mets do really well with pitchers that dance around the zone and they have a really good strike zone judgment. Yu Darvish does not dance on the corners. He throws his hard sinker. He tries to induce a lot of ground balls.
Yep.
And that's what we've been giving him pitching to contact to give him what he wants. And he also gets a bunch of strikeouts. He's got 4 good pitches, but I think his heavy sinker is his bread and butter. That's what he leans on the most.
Yeah, so, I like it. It's not going to be an easy assignment at all. But that's a little taste of what's coming up on this show. I'm guessing you're not drinking alcohol. It is 11 a.m.
No, I'm not. I actually have. Alex just hit 9 months of pregnancy today.
Right.
Yes.
I was going to ask how doing, how everybody's holding up.
She's doing well. If you know us, you know that this house, the nursery was prepared in like April, and we're ready. We're ready for the baby. She's just ready for the baby to get here. I'm ready for the baby to get here. We have our 9-month checkup later on this afternoon, so I don't think going to that half in the bag is a good idea for long-term success. So I'll be drinking black cherry seltzer water. My go-to.
Respect. And kids, it's 2 p.m. The game is at 8. Yes, I'm drinking a beer, but I'm a seasoned professional. Please don't try this at home.
Yes. Yeah, don't try this at home.
Got that out of the
way. So, how are you feeling, Doug? We just went over game 1 a little bit, got into the fact that Darvish is on the hill for them. How are you feeling overall about this team and where we were, 2 weeks ago to last week to where we are now.
I know, like so much has happened since then. I was listening to the episode 2 weeks ago. We were flying high, and we were ready for that Atlanta series, and that was. If you want to get negative, maybe now's the time to get negative, because I will get positive in a second. But yeah, ATL, they just were the better team, completely.
Yeah.
On the bats. They got to our big three, basically. They didn't smack Jake and Max around, but they did enough. And God, that was frustrating to watch. We talked on text, obviously. I don't blame any of my Mets friends who are like, I can't watch the Nats series. I need a timeout after that, because I do prep every week. Obviously, I can't remember all this stuff. So I've been keeping track of the Mets standings, as you know. The whole entire sheet this year, they're in first place. Today was the first time I had to say they're in second place. Just rough stuff. But you got to tip your hat to Atlanta. They're ridiculous.
Yeah, and sorry, Dougie, I also totally fucked up our show programming. We were going to lead off with football, but we're just going right into baseball. So we'll talk about football later.
Yeah.
So, to your point, man, I don't even want to say. I mean, they beat us, right? So credit to where credit's due, right? But to your point, they did not smack either of our guys around, but our guys they were human. They gave up average amount of runs, and they beat us with the long ball.
Yep.
I mean, every time we made a mistake in the zone, they capitalized on it. It's like, Scherzer made 3 bad pitches that whole game, and they hit all 3 of them over the fence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but the problem with that series is that the bats just went dormant, and it's what I talked about a couple weeks ago. It's this team was so tired by the end of the year. Buck rode his guys all the way through, and missing Starling Marte has been that's what actually lost us the series, in my opinion. Our number 2 hitter, our right field,
the division.
Yeah. Our right fielder, our number 2 hitter. I don't remember who hit him, but that's been the most debilitating injury, and that has changed the trajectory of the season. Excuse me. It shortened our lineup from a 7 long to 6 long, between Guillorme and whoever's catching, and then whatever was getting thrown out into right field, unless it was McNeil, we were 6 deep, and then you could turn the bottom of the lineup over, no problem. And that's on top of, Vogelback and whoever's playing DH from the right side also not playing well.
Right.
So
Vientos, Alvarez, until a few games ago, none of them hit.
None of them
for September. And you got to think that if Marte is in the lineup for the whole time, they don't get swept by the Cubs. They don't lose 2 out of 3 to the Nats. They don't split with Miami. They just had to win one more goddamn game.
Yep.
So that's frustrating.
That's the frustrating thing.
And if you want to ask me, am I nervous about tonight in this series? I am. I think every Mets fan is going to be. It's just high stakes baseball, right? Which is nuts. But I think you made a great point. If I could see the same thing happening tonight that happened over in Atlanta over this season, where the bats just can't get it going. That's my biggest worry coming into the series, especially facing Darvish to start it off.
Yeah, I mean their lineup is as good as anyone's in baseball. I mean, they're probably 7 deep as well. And Darvish, when he's on, is one of the best pitchers in baseball. And he was on against us the 2 times we faced him this year. I had the fortunate
you went to one of those.
Of going to one of those games, and I left in the 3rd inning because we couldn't touch him. So we'll see. It's a shame because we played such a great season. I think it's the 2nd best record the Mets have ever posted as a franchise, and we still didn't even take the division.
Yeah, it's shades of 85 actually. If I'm so old,
right?
But, that team didn't get to go. Okay, got all of that out of the way. I still think they're going to win this series. How about you?
I think tonight, like
3
you
games
said,
at home.
3 games at home. Our best 3 guys going, and Marte's supposedly on the roster, but I don't think he's playing, which I don't understand that
Yeah,
call.
let's talk about that for a second, because I heard that the major problem is he can't throw the ball. So it's not like he's going to be. I think did Gore make the roster? Like Marte's not going to be a defensive replacement. So can he swing the bat? Like what's was Buck just trolling us the whole time? Is he ready to go? I mean,
I don't know.
He's not in the lineup, right?
I am looking this up right now so that we can get to the bottom of this.
I think Gore made it. I know Ruff made it, which is a bit of a surprise. And while you look that up, I do want to say that it's great that they are including Alvarez.
Yep.
The kid was mashing the ball finally against the Nats.
Yep. So they actually dropped McCann off of the
no way
off the roster, and they're going with Alvarez and Nido.
Oh wow! I saw some different info.
This is from NewYorkMets.com. Twitter, our wild card series squad. They went with Bassett, DeGrom, Edwin Diaz, Michael Gibbons, Seth Lugo, Trevor May, Tyler McGill, Ottavino,
all the relievers,
Peterson, Joely, Scherzer, and Smith. So they obviously left off, Walker and Carrasco because they're not going to play in this series no matter what.
Right.
And it looks like we also left Williams off because he pitched the last game. So I guess between McGill and
Peterson can cover a fuck up. And
yes,
if those guys are in for more than a couple innings, then something's gone really wrong.
Correct. And then you got Alvarez and Nido as your catchers. And
I was looking at Amazing Ave and they have McCann on the roster. That's even better. So that means extra outfielder.
Yeah, so they have Ruff, Nimmo, Marte, Gore, and Canna, and then Vogelbach, McNeil, Lindor, Guillorme, Escobar, and Alonso. So
they left Naquin off.
Yeah, they left Naquin off. So it looks like you'll probably get an infield of Pete, either Guillorme or McNeil at second, Lindor and Escobar. Right, that's the norm.
Right.
I'm assuming Nido is going to catch, right, because Scherzer loves throwing to him. I believe DeGrom loves throwing to him. And I guess Bassett will be fine with either catcher. And then you're going to have Canna and Nimmo. And then who's playing right? Is it going to be McNeil or is it going to be Ruff?
Yeah, I mean, you can't throw Terrence Gore out there.
Terrence Gore is going to be your stolen base guy.
That would be an insane start.
But does Marte? The question is, does Marte play DH and does McNeil play right?
You might be onto something there.
Why would you bring Marte on the roster if he's not going to swing the bat?
I know. I don't get it. But I figured Vogelbach's in the lineup tonight. No matter what. That would be crazy if he wasn't. Tomorrow, though, I think you see Alvarez, either catcher or DH, probably DH, right?
Who's pitching for them tomorrow?
Snell's a lefty.
Oh, right. Then we did pretty well against him this year. He wasn't that great. Did he finally turn it on?
Exactly. No, he had a good year, right? He started out hurt. We touched him up though, and I don't know. I'll eat these words, but he doesn't scare me as much as Darvish.
No, he definitely doesn't scare me as much as Darvish.
Third guy is Musgrove, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully we're not.
Java Joe. If I see that commercial one more time on MLB, you don't have to deal with it because you watch SNY Direct and
we get our own. Yeah,
I have to watch through the MLB app, and so every time SNY cuts to a commercial, they put their own MLB app commercials up, and they keep replaying Joe Musgrove's last out from his no-hitter 2 years ago. And they scream, Jabba Joe throws a no-no. And I fucking hate Joe Musgrove just because of that commercial and having to hear it every time I watch a Mets game. Literally every game it comes on.
God.
So, yes.
Actually, when I use the SNY app, it always starts with a commercial from the Dodgers starter that I'm completely blanking on, but he's had an insane year.
Gonsolin?
Yeah, maybe. And I'm like, why is this on SNY? And it's every single damn time.
The Wilpons still own SNY maybe, and they want to give their Dodger love out.
There we go. Thanks, Saul Katz.
Yes. So I don't know. That's an interesting way. It's a 3-game series, right? So you leave off Naquin.
Right. Who's sucked the last month?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely not getting into a game in between Guillorme and Vogelbach. You got two lefties, that at least one lefty that'll be on the bench, right? You know, and if Alvarez is raking, then that's awesome. But the only thing I don't understand again is Marte. If he's up, he's got to be playing DH if he can't throw, right?
Right.
Why else would you put him on this roster? It doesn't make any sense to me unless you want him to be a pinch hitter late in the game. But
yeah, it's really weird. It kind of reminds me. I don't know if you remember this. I remember too much shit. In 2006, I think Uncle Cliff Floyd was all banged up and like probably shouldn't have played, but they kept him on the roster, I guess, just because he was the man, right?
Yeah.
But I remember he like struck out in a really high leverage situation against like the Cards or something like that. So let's hope it does come to that.
Yeah, I just hope it's not like, you traded for a guy like Naquin. He hasn't been doing much, but he is a guy who's a lefty bat that can play all three outfield positions.
Yeah.
So if someone goes down, what do you do? Like, is Terrence Gore going to play? I hope not. I mean, that guy is literally a pinch running specialist. He's
really good at one thing.
Yeah, and he totally owns it, and that's totally fine. You need a stolen base. You need a guy on, in the 10th inning. You need a guy to lead off on second base to start the inning. That's your guy, right? And he scores on a single, right? No big deal.
And I mean, I'm making this up, and maybe not Max Scherzer, but other than Max, has he probably played the most playoff games? Anyone on the roster? I mean, Gore's been there, man. So
yeah,
why not? It's like a little luck charm.
That's fair enough. I'm not opposed. The McCann leaving McCann off was
yeah, that's surprising.
Was surprising. That's definitely surprising. But you said I did follow what you said. I didn't watch a second of the Nats series. I needed a break to clear my head and get over the anger. I was back to my old beating the drum of Billy Epler did not do enough at the trade deadline. And,
that was my next segue. If you want to go off on him one more time,
I mean,
feel free.
I mean, dude, we haven't been. Nito got hot in September, great, but he's still not. No one's scared of Tomas Nito. Like they're still not. They're not pitching around him. He got his average up to a respectable 240, and he hit a couple of home runs. But the guy, I think, has a 600 OPS. He's not.
If that, yeah.
Yeah, he's the 9th place hitter, right? You put in someone like Contreras in that spot, whatever it costs, dude. Right now, I wouldn't care. Be thinking about Mark Vientos on the Cubs next year or whatever it was, right? Ronnie Mauricio. I wouldn't be thinking about any of that stuff. I'd be like, yeah, Wilson Contreras is our starting catcher. That's awesome, right? And we went for cheaper guys. We went for cheaper guys that we thought we could leverage against lefty-righty platoon, right? And it made sense. Vogelbach was cheaper. He cost us Colin Holderman, no big deal. I don't know what Holderman did for the Pirates. I don't know. If
he got hurt.
There we go. And then, Darren Ruff has been a complete and utter failure since we traded for him. He has hit 0 home runs for us.
And JD's been raking, of course.
Yeah, JD raked. I will say JD needed a change of scenery. He wasn't going to do that here in New York.
Agreed.
And
kind of like Dom, too.
Yeah, and so the trade was like I felt like it was one of those Madden trades where you put like 7 guys in to get one guy and push it through. But I don't think we're going to lose sleep over any of the guys that we traded to the Giants ever. Maybe
probably not.
Probably not. JD's fine, but Ruff, to me, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he turns it on in the playoffs. He's probably got more playoff experience than a lot of guys on the team. So it's not the worst thing, but he just needs to start hitting. He just needs to start hitting some lefties. He just looks lost at the plate. So Epler, we didn't upgrade at DH like a guy like Josh Bell, switch hitter, could have played DH every day.
Boy.
Could have played DH every day. Wilson Contreras, catcher, could have caught every day.
And now he's on San Diego, by the way, your boy.
Yeah.
Josh Bell.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
That's a bad vibe right there, too.
Yeah, it's bad vibe. So we'll be facing these guys, and we didn't upgrade the fucking bullpen. We got Joely Rodriguez and David Peterson as our lefties right now, and
I'm not convinced.
I'm not confident in either of those guys. So I think Epler, took Max's 37-year season and DeGrom's, half a year, and he rolled the dice, and I don't think I think he crapped out. We'll see how it goes.
He might
right?
have. Look, we got there. We're in the short series, but we have to play an extra series now, and maybe that wasn't part of the plan.
First of all, we were tired. Buck pushed for the division because he wanted to give the guys this 3 games off. So that didn't work out. So now we're going in. You know, he rested everyone on Wednesday, and they had yesterday off. They didn't have to travel too far, right? So everyone's ready to go. But now we have to burn Scherzer, DeGrom, and possibly Bassett to get through this series. And then we go into the Dodgers series, and we can then talk about, you know, either probably Walker is going to start game 1. Right. And that's going to be
not ideal
against Gonsolin, who has been one of the best pitchers in baseball. Right. And then you still got to go against Kershaw at some point. And this is if we get past the Padres. So it was very disheartening. And also, you know, you're now in the bracket where you have to play a series where you have to fly coast to coast, right? After already being tired. So I think that we had.
It's brutal. You didn't want. You nailed it. You didn't want to face the Dodgers till the NLCS.
And we were a penny wise, a pound foolish at the trade deadline again.
Yeah.
That's where my head's at. But you know, revisionist history, right? Hindsight's 2020. I can't change any of it. So going into tonight, I feel like you know, I think Buck made some good decisions here on this roster. I think, you know, it's smart for a 3-game series. I don't quite understand Marte unless he's playing DH, and we haven't gotten the lineups yet, so I'm sure we'll see that in a little bit here. And maybe he's not. Maybe you put Vogelbach in there and you save Marte for DH tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you want him to be your pinch hitter off the bench.
Yeah.
I don't think
I don't get it either.
I don't think I would have kept him on the roster for that, but he's got to be able to swing a bat. You've got to assume he's got to be able to either swing. I don't think you're bringing this guy on to be your defensive replacement. So you got to figure he's able to swing the bat now, right?
Right.
So that's where I'm at, man. I don't have a sense one way or the other. I feel positive, and I'm happy that we're here and we've got a chance, and I'm looking at it from that lens.
Yeah.
But you know, everything from here on out is hard. You know, we're gonna
crazy. Yep.
And to win this whole thing, even in this new format, you're still gonna have to grind, right? So we're gonna have to grind, and the bats are gonna have to stay awake for the next, I don't know how. So next series against the Dodgers, is it the best 3 out of 5 or is it 4 out of 7?
It's funny, you read my mind. I was trying to remember, and I don't. I
don't either.
I hope it's 7.
You hope it's 7
for the Mets' sake.
I don't know if it went 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 7 for the last 3 rounds. But
it wouldn't surprise me if that's the structure since they added wildcard games.
Right.
Here's a question for you. If they take care of business tonight, do you switch Bassett with DeGrom and roll with Bassett tomorrow to save DeGrom?
No.
Okay.
No. Why would we do that? Well, yeah. You have all 3 games at home, so it's not like you have to travel somewhere. You throw your best bullet.
Because you'd be saving Jake for LA.
I mean, I don't think so, man. I think you can't be looking towards LA if you don't beat San Diego. You got to throw your best 2 guys out there. Let them do what they do, and let's get the ball rolling here, and let's move on and hopefully go play the Dodgers. And then if we got to start with Bassett or Walker in the first game, so be it, man. We'll get it. We'll get there, and hopefully we played the Dodgers very well this year. I'm not afraid of the Dodgers. I think that they're the cream of the crop, but I'm more afraid of Atlanta, if I'm being honest. But we got to get through LA. We got to get through San Diego, then LA before we can even think of Atlanta, and they got to get through whoever they got to get through to get there too. So, you know, it's going to be at least 16, maybe 15 or 16 wins. We got to get to the World Series championship.
So on the way to the World Series, you know who I want in the NLCS?
Cardinals?
Yes. I want Payback. 16 years ago, they still have three players on that roster from 16. 3 like major players from 16 years ago.
Pujols, Yadier, and Wainwright.
The guy who threw the last pitch.
Yeah.
It's sitting right there for us. All the redemption. It's here.
Yeah. All right.
It's right in front of us. Now, are they going to get through Atlanta? No, probably not. But
they play. Who do they play? The Phillies first.
Yeah,
right?
I think they start with the Phils.
So they play the Phillies. They got to get through Philadelphia, but they're at home.
Yeah.
and then they go to Atlanta if they beat Philadelphia, and then whoever gets through our tree, our
Yeah.
arc.
And look, I'm just having fun with it. And by the way, fuck me for saying the Phillies were dead and buried in May, huh?
Hey man, they were dead and buried. They just they turned it around enough to
Yeah,
sneak the
Rob
wild card.
Thompson, man, wow.
He should get the job full time if he hasn't already.
Yeah,
So
and I don't know, is Buck Manager of the Year? Who cares, right? But
yeah, I don't care
Mr.
about.
Thompson has a decent argument.
I don't care. We had the Cy Young Award winner 2 years in a row, and we were like
All right.
4th or 5th place, right?
So we're going to spend 5 seconds on McNeil winning the batting title. Yay!
Yay! Cool. At least we didn't. At least it wasn't lame. Yeah. At least I guess it was kind of lame that
he took the last day off, right?
He took the last day off, but at least it wasn't. The year Reyes like bunted for a single and they pulled him out of the game so that he wouldn't have to hit.
Yeah, that was lame. Actually, McNeil, it was the opposite. He came in the game once. I think they figured out that he couldn't like screw it up.
Yeah.
He was like a late inning defensive replacement. So like the fans got to cheer him off. I did watch those national games. They beat the hell out of them. It was nice to see.
Yeah, the Nats. I mean, they rolled over. They just wanted to go home. They were like, "Let's get me on the golf course." I mean, I saw the one game was 8-0 in like the first inning. And
it was awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even go back and watch the recap game. So I was just I needed to reset my mantra. So I'm feeling good though. I'm feeling good.
So Nats to San Diego. Juan Soto. I looked it up. He's actually, he's still better than almost every player in the NL. But his numbers are down since he went over there. Probably doesn't mean anything, right? He's him and Machado are the guys you really fear. Machado had a hell of a year.
Yep. Yeah. I think who's their other players that are worth anything?
So they've, Jerickson Profar is there. Jake Cronenworth had a decent year.
Yeah, Profar played us pretty tough. Cronenworth is good. They got Bell as well. Who's their shortstop? Because Tatis still hasn't come back, right?
Someone named Ha-Sung Kim.
Okay, and their catcher. Yep.
And Austin Nola, Aaron's brother.
Yep.
All these guys have like 90 to 110 OPSs. They're not like mashers.
Right.
Trent Grisham's in center. It looks like he's had a bad year. They have Luke Voigt got traded.
Yes, he went to the Nats.
Yeah, so you're right. Josh Bell is in there. Brandon Drury, X-Men.
Oh, they picked him up at the deadline from Cincinnati.
He's in the mix. Somehow Will Myers is still on the team. I didn't realize that.
I didn't even know Will Myers was still in baseball, but awesome.
It's a blast from the past, but
yeah, man.
I'm looking at this. It's not exactly a quick in your boots lineup, but they have Juan Soto and Manny Machado, and thank God Tatis Jr. was a fuck up this year, because then they would be a really scary lineup, obviously.
Yes, 100%.
Like that's. Well, I don't
know. Well, I think we can handle the lineup. I think with our pitchers going against that lineup, and that's a lineup that has really not a ton of postseason. I mean, Soto's won a ring, right? And, Machado
played a few games.
He's played in a few games.
He played some playoff games under Buck.
Yeah, I believe you're right. But other than that, I don't know. Darvish has a ring with the Cubs, correct?
I believe so. Yeah. His best years were with Texas, right? I'm sure he's thrown some playoff baseball, especially with the Cubs too. And then look, Hader's kind of turned it up in September, but the numbers overall have been bad. And who else is in their bullpen? Nabil Chrismat, you scared of him? Luis Garcia, Steven Wilson, Tim Hill. I can't give you scouting reports on these guys.
No. I mean, as long as we can keep it out of Hader, that's smoke throwing lefty. Yep. He reminds me a lot of Billy Wagner. I don't want to face him if I don't have to. Right? I'd like it to be 7 innings from our starters, and then Diaz in the 9th. And a nice little Ottavino in the 8th, and 2 or 3 run lead at the very least, and let's shut these guys down.
Lately Buck's been giving Diaz at least 4 outs, with Ottavino getting either 2 or 4 or 5 as well. And that seems to be the plan, just those 2 guys. And I'm cool with that. Yep.
Yeah, just get whatever you got to do to get it done, man. Whatever you got to do to get it done. We need the bats to wake up. We need to put the ball in play,
I have a
not
feeling.
strike out, not pop up.
Yeah, I have a feeling Seth Lugo is going to help us out. I don't know, just a gut feeling.
Yeah, and, I hope so. I hope all these guys just do their jobs.
Yeah, I don't trust Joely or Peterson. I really don't. No matter how much they're trying to pump up these guys. So let's hope we don't have to get into the middle of the bullpen.
Right.
And
also, don't trust Trevor May at all this year. So,
no.
So would prefer not to see him unless
I'd rather see Drew Smith, honestly. But
yes.
Anyway, what's your plan for the game?
I am going to be watching from my couch.
Me too.
We have, it starts at 5 out here. We have her brother's plays high school football, and we will be going to his game tonight. That's not till later on this evening out here.
God.
So yeah. So I'll get to
phone the whole time.
I mean, I'm going to do that anyway. So yeah. So I'll get to see a good portion of the game before we go to Ricky's game, and
nice.
Hopefully I'm in a good mood when we leave, so I can cheer.
Oh boy,
I can cheer him on Friday Night Lights out here in California. So
I love it. Awesome, dude. You want to use that as the football segue? You got any other Mets thoughts?
No, let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's talk about your 3-1 New York Football Giants, bro. How you feeling?
Heading across the pond. I don't know, man. I think they're going to get beat by Aaron Rodgers for a bunch of reasons. I get my shit back here. That's probably not a surprising prediction, though, right? But they're all beat to hell, right? Starting with Daniel Jones, who sounds like he's going to play, but he might not be mobile. And when he's not mobile, he's in trouble probably, right? With all the struggles the line has had. So Saquon better step up. I'm sure there's going to be some play action still, which they've been relying on. Did you know they've run the most play action in the league so far?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Is it play action or is it RPO or is it one and the same?
What I saw, they were talking about straight play action, but I think that RPO is obviously in the game plan too. I mean, Jones can pull it off when he's healthy, right?
Right.
And so the receivers are all hurt, obviously. I want to fire Kadarius Toney into the sun. I want to fire Allen Robinson into the sun, but I don't want to talk about my fantasy teams, right? But Kenny Galladay is out.
I mean, that's
whatever.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah, maybe
he's a human paperweight.
Who knows about Wandale? He might be back. It's the Richie James and David Sills show, man. And I don't know. Like Saquon is kind of Superman again, but I don't think that's keeping up with Aaron Rodgers. And Wink is going to have to dial back the blitzes, obviously, right? Rodgers knows how to deal with that. Might be a long day.
It might be a long day. It might be a long day. I think, I don't know, man. You guys, I don't know if you watched any of the Patriots Packers game, but the Patriots with their backup quarterback took the Packers to almost to a tie.
That was surprising.
Surprising. And then the Giants, I mean, nobody expected you guys to be 3-1. So
no way.
You got it right with the coach and the GM so far, right? And that's got to be the most like relieving thing of anything that
absolutely. This week's house money, honestly, this year's house money at this point.
We didn't think you were going to win 3 games all year, and you're
why would we after what
first quarter? Yeah, first quarter of the season, you're already you're 3-1. Are you in first place or is that tied?
I haven't looked yet, but probably no. I don't know. The Eagles are undefeated.
Eagles are undefeated. They almost lost to Jacksonville, though.
That was a little close.
A nice homecoming.
The Eagles are no joke, though.
No, they know what they're doing.
But dude, let's give some shout outs. Are you into PFF grades? I don't like live and die by them.
Yeah, I don't. I take them for what they're worth because sometimes they make sense and sometimes they don't make sense.
Well, let me know if this makes sense. They have Andrew Thomas is the highest graded offensive tackle. They have Saquon leads the league in explosive rushes of 15 yards or more. And Dexter Lawrence is the highest graded pass rusher. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Those 3 guys are having a hell of a year. So shout outs to them, man.
Yeah,
and honestly, that's a bunch of Gettleman picks from mistaken. Like,
well,
all of
you,
them,
but
honestly.
you finally got a coach in there that's got a
Right.
plan, right? You
Yeah.
don't have a special teams coach that's just being a
Yeah, yelling.
dictator.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That I never understood that hire, but whatever. So I mean, those are all high picks, right?
They
Thomas
are.
was first. Barkley was the first.
Lawrence
Lawrence
was
was the
part of
first.
the OBJ trade. Yep.
Yeah, he was the first as
Like
well.
mid
So
first rounder. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, those guys are all panning out, and
Mhm.
that's what you need. You need your draft picks to pan out to become, a competitive team in the NFL. It's
And
why the Jets are and have been as bad as
the,
they've been for
the
so long,
Jets.
because they haven't been able to make draft picks become an average NFL players. So
You would take average for most of
yeah,
these guys.
I mean, most of
and they weren't.
McCagnon's draft picks are no longer in the NFL. That's the problem. They
Right.
can't even stick on someone's practice squad. So how
It's sick too, right?
what's that?
It's sick too. Going
Yeah,
back.
that's so far removed. But yes, I mean,
Right.
that guy picked 12 guys, and I think one of them is still in the NFL, and the rest of them are no longer anywhere to be seen. So
Unreal. So yeah, dude. But yeah, like once again, like Ojulari's out again this week. That's not great. They had to put Robinson, the cornerback, on IR. Flot's out. So we're doing practice squad guys plus Adoree Jackson trying to cover. They're trying to deal with Aaron Rodgers. It's been a great year though, so I'm not complaining. Like,
yeah. Well, I think the Packers are not the team that they've been.
No.
So,
but they can run the damn ball.
They can run it. I mean, they still have some weapons on offense. I don't know if their defense is great. And you guys are, flying to London's always.
Yeah, you never know.
It's a crapshoot, right? Like, you never know. You never know how prepped up you're going to be. You never know who's going to do what and go see and what, when, where, why. So I think you got to fight a puncher's chance, right? So, like we said, no one expects you to be 3-1. I mean, who have you've beaten? You beat
Chicago, Carolina, and Tennessee.
Okay, I mean they're
not exactly murderer's row.
No, not. But those are games that, if you had asked me, the only team I would say you probably had a chance to beat before opening day would have been Chicago. So Carolina and Tennessee are good W's, and you lost. Who did you lose to?
Dallas, and they could have won that game.
Yeah. So you guys are playing fundamentally good football, and looks like you're being coached properly, and that I think is what you need to take out of it.
We've missed it so much.
Yeah, man.
Miss you, Tom Coughlin. I'm so sorry what I said.
Yeah. I mean, I never understood you Giants fans getting so upset with Eli and Coughlin. I mean, you got rings out of it, and that's why you play football. So
it went stagnant, but take me back. But no, we are back. I think.
Yep.
You said it well. All the leadership here. It looks great so far. So.
Yep. And you got your line might not be where it needs to be, but if Andrew Thomas is playing like he's supposed to be playing, it sounds like, and then you got Evan Neal on the right side. How's he been?
Not great, but it's like his first 3 or 4 games. I think Thomas had the same problem. I'm not getting all over a guy.
Yeah, we had Vera Tucker last year. He was a high draft pick. We put him at guard. He was a left tackle in college. We put him at guard last year. He was okay. And then we switched him. He's played right guard. He went from left guard to right guard, and then right guard. He played left tackle last week, and he's like our best player this year. He's 22-year-old offensive lineman. So
there you go.
Give the kid a full season.
No one should be getting on Neal.
No. And then how's the guards and the center playing?
Fine. Feliciano's a vet there at center, and oh god, I'm blanking on the guards. Completely blanking on the guards. Shit. I know the rookie isn't getting many snaps, Zudo, and oh god. Yeah, sorry guys.
All good.
I think it's time for another beer.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No, but I mean, look, they're blocking for Saquon, right? They can run block. It's the pass protection, plus Daniel Jones always thinks he has time, and
does he lead the league in holding the ball? Because he's usually in the bottom 5 for.
It's one of his Achilles heels, if not the biggest one, right?
It's why he stinks, because he takes too many hits and sacks, or then he runs. So I mean, part of that, you can't put it on the line if he's holding the ball for more than 3 seconds. You're not going to block guys for that long.
And especially if he can't run around this week, that's what I'm really worried about, that he's just going to be a sitting duck all game. So that's why I think it can get ugly this week, and it wouldn't surprise me if it did.
Well, we shall see. House money, Doug. House
money, baby.
With house money.
And hey, look, 2-2 Jets. Zach Wilson's back. Return of the MILF Hunter.
Yes.
We love it.
It's funny because Alex doesn't know anything about football, right? But she knows who Zach Wilson is. She goes, is that the MILF banger? And I'm like, that is the MILF banger, babe. That is him. She's like, see, I pay attention. Anyway.
That's great.
That is great.
It's better than being mononucleosis boy or
what
any of the guys before him. So
God, the Carolina Panthers just have a steaming pile of dog shit in the QB room. God, I would hate to be that franchise.
But real quick, I'll let you get to the Jets. But for 2 things, thank God the Giants didn't trade for Russ after what we've been watching there,
dude.
And someone made a great point last night on Twitter, and I agree. It's like after watching what Baker and Russ are doing this year, no one's going to trade for a mid quarterback for like a decade. Right?
No, I mean, well, with Baker, whatever, they didn't give up shit.
They didn't give up too much, sure.
Everyone knew he wasn't great,
but and they also tried it with Darnold, right?
I mean, the Panthers have a owner who is impatient, and as a Jet fan, I can attest to that not being great for long-term success. And he is older, and he wants to get a victory, and they're wasting these years with McCaffrey, and they just need to blow it up down there and start over. Yeah, so unfortunate. But with Russ, you kind of see like Carroll knew what he was doing, and Russ wanted more control, and he's just – I don't know if he's just not that good anymore, or he's too old, or he's more concerned with because he got the bag, or being something off the field. I don't know what it is, but he looks awful. He looks awful. So that team. Did you see the post on Twitter of Melvin Gordon looking at Russ in total disgust on the sideline? I'll send it to you after this. It's hilarious.
Because Gordon actually looks good.
Gordon looks like he wants to punch him in the face. He's like, "What are you doing? Like you're supposed to be good, and you're not playing good football."
Oh my God! Like
that team is a train wreck. And on top of it all, they definitely got it wrong with the coach. Nathaniel Hackett looks lost.
Dude,
lost.
So the first Monday game I watched because I have like a bunch of receivers on fantasy teams. And I told you, I was like, that was the dumbest last 2 minutes of a game I've ever seen. Right. And last night I'm watching this stupid game because I have a bunch of receivers going. And that was the worst game I might have seen in a decade, like overall. Dude, the Colts are a disaster too.
Oh, yeah. The Colts with Matt Ryan.
Matty was getting his ass kicked all night. And he just can't.
He's old. He's old. And the Colts have been trying to like patchwork with an old vet for the last 3 years as well.
But I thought they had a great line, but he was running for his life all night.
I think they have the same thing with the Giants. They're great at run blocking, but they can't pass block. Yeah. But they're done. Frank Reich is done. He's lost that team, and the Broncos are done, dude. I don't think. Hackett. I mean, you put Hackett in an impossible situation. The guy, you put him in with all these vets, and you're expecting him to like be able to control this team. And this is Russ's team, and Russ looks like he has just got his head up his ass. I don't understand what he's doing out there. He's not getting rid of the ball.
I don't get it. He's got taking talent all around him.
All around him. He's not, and I think he's trying to do too much, and he looks lost out there. I don't know, man. This is a team that needed a veteran coach to come in and
there's some just awful interceptions on both sides of the ball last night. Yeah. It was comical. I actually started enjoying the game. That's how bad it was. More.
Do you follow Robert Griffin III on Twitter?
I usually don't follow athletes or ex-athletes because they're boring as hell. Is he good?
He has started becoming really funny. He definitely tweeted out last night that Amazon should give us all a free month of Prime for having to endure this game. Yes. Yeah, he's been saying some the last 2 weeks. I don't know what's gotten into him or if that's what he's trying to do, but he is like,
I like it.
He's got some zingers out there. He had something last week that was funny as well. He said, I would have rather them cut to an Aaron Judge home run watch than watch this game. Yeah, it was great, dude.
Me too, and I hated that whole thing.
Yes. Oh, dude.
I'm glad we haven't mentioned it at all.
Whatever, dude.
No.
I mean, the guy that caught the ball, they're offering him $2 million, and he's probably going to hold out for more. But whatever, dude.
Sure.
Whatever. Just stupid lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man.
Anyway.
The Jets are looking good at 2-2. Again, also house money. We didn't think we were going to come out of the first four against the AFC North and be able to do what we did. I thought we could beat Pittsburgh. I did think that was a winnable game, but I didn't think we could win any of the other games. So the fact that we pulled out that miracle against Cleveland,
right?
We won. We stole a game. We're 2-2. But the thing about last game is we looked competent with Zach at quarterback, and Flacco was just not great. And Zach had a couple of good quarters and a couple of bad quarters. He threw one bad interception and one was a tip ball that Conklin should have caught. But we got weapons, man. We got guys that Corey Davis, some big catches. The running backs made some. We were able to run the ball finally. Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore were getting open. Conklin's a good guy as a tight end. We finally have a league average tight end. And Zach was able to move around. Again, he made a couple of bonehead mistakes, but it was his first game back. He looked good. He looked good.
Yeah.
So
you should have. I mean, you expect that, right? So, how are you feeling? How are you feeling going forward? I don't know what the schedule is. So,
we play I think we play Miami, New England, Buffalo in the next 3 games. So
1 and 2.
I mean, I don't know. It depends with Miami. They got Bridgewater and Tyreek saying he might not play now. So if we catch Miami, without Tua and without definitely without Tua and without Tyreek,
is that at home?
I think it's in Miami because I think it's at home because we played on the road last week. But let's look it up. Let's look up.
Well, Giants aren't home, so I guess it would make sense. But
yeah, so we're playing Miami at home. Then we play the Packers in Green Bay the following week. Then we play the Broncos in Denver. Then we play the Patriots at home.
Win.
I mean, possibly.
After everything we just said, you better beat the Broncos.
But dude, I mean, it's possible we could beat Miami. I don't know if we're beating Green Bay in Green Bay, but Denver is a possibility. I feel that we can beat the Patriots, and I feel that the Bills are probably going to smack us around. So we'll see, man. I don't know. 7-9 is not. 7-10 is not out of the question. 6-11. I'll be happy with either of those as long as Zach progresses and all these rookies progress. The defense finally is starting to look decent. The offense moved the ball enough against Pittsburgh to keep the defense fresh for the fourth quarter. That's been the problem the first 3 games is that the defense played well and then just ran out of gas. And we couldn't move the ball. We had so many 3-and-outs. We finally got a kicker. He missed his first field goal of the year, and then he's been great since. So Greg the Leg, great to have a veteran guy that can put those 3 points on the board consistently. So it's all about the development of Zach this year. If he takes a step forward, I like our chances going forward. I don't think we're going to make the playoffs this year, but a 500 team or close to is a good step in the right direction. And if he doesn't take a step forward, I don't know what we do with that. We'll see. Hopefully he stays healthy and we can really make the decision and see where we go from there.
Right. So, like you guys aren't like Giants fans who might still secretly be hoping for a tank. You want to see progress. You want to see. You'll take mediocre this year.
Dude, we have all the pieces in place. The only thing we really need to do is solidify our offensive line. I think that's where he's going to go dump a lot of picks this year. If everyone progresses throughout this year as currently constituted, we got the quarterback, we got the 2 receivers, we got the tight end, we got a couple of pieces on the offensive line. We need to add a little bit more to solidify that. Our defensive line is fine. Our linebackers are fine. Our cornerbacks have been playing lights out. We need safeties. That's the other thing we need to invest in. But it's not we're not far away from taking that next step if everyone progresses. So we shall see. We shall see. Yeah.
So no complaints about the coaching staff.
I still think Douglas does a good job. I think Saleh is the jury's still out on him. I definitely was losing faith in him after the Cincinnati game. I feel better about him now that we beat Pittsburgh and we played a tough game and against a good defense, and we were able to, get a W there. That was important. So jury's still out on Salah. We'll see how he does throughout the year. How LaFleur progresses through with Wilson in this offense, and let's make some progress. Let's put some points up. Let's move the ball and let's play decent defense, and we'll go from there. So
who's your MVP so far?
I think Vera Tucker is probably the MVP of the offense right now.
Yeah, you gave him a shout out before, so
yeah. I mean, he's been very durable, flexible. He's and he's been playing well. It's not like he's plugged in. They put him in at left tackle, and he was like he shut down Alonzo Highsmith, who led the league in sacks coming into the game, as a guy that hadn't played left tackle since college. And he looks good on offense. On defense, the two corners are just playing really, really good football. And so I'm really happy about Sauce being the 4th overall pick, and DJ on the other side has just been, he was undervalued in free agency because he's a 5'9" outside cornerback, but he plays like a taller guy. And if you looked at his numbers and his peripherals, he was probably the number 1 cornerback on the free agent market, and we got him for 3 years, $33 million. I was, and you never know, because the guy only started really 1 year, but he had been in Salah's system before, and they knew him, and he has been playing very good football. So,
what is he, like a 4th year guy, 5th year guy? I forget.
I think he's this is his 5th year. So
okay, no, that works. Any other Jets thoughts? We got to cram some miles in, obviously.
Let's do it. Let's talk about Mathew Barzal.
Gets the bag, baby.
The bag.
Anything to hate?
I don't hate any of it.
I love it.
8 years, $73 million, or roughly or thereabout.
Yep. I think it's 915 every year.
Yeah, a little over 9 a year. It starts next year, so we'll have room on the cap for it. You lock up your number 1 center for probably the rest of his career.
Yeah.
I think someone made a good point based on the 2 contracts that the guys in St. Louis got, who produce way less than Barzal at almost $8 million a year. Like, this contract made a ton of sense. I think we got a little bit of a hometown discount, and he's happy. We're happy. And now we move forward. We don't have to hear the Seattle bullshit going forward. And
we don't have to hear Seattle shit. We don't have to go through the Tavares shit again.
Nope.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Lou.
Yep. So that, hopefully that's the parting gift from Lou. And I don't know how much longer he's going to be our GM. The guy's 80 years old. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this team, dude. It's the same team running it back. Preseason hockey is nothing to get excited about.
No.
We played 2 games fine. We played 2 games terribly. Our goaltending is going to be a strength going forward. It always has been. Our defense Salo seems to have locked up that 6th spot, and between Hutton and Aho will be the 7th guy. I don't know. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. And then on offense, it's the same fucking cast of characters, man. I think
running it back.
I think between Bellows and this Shoshishkinov or whatever, they're fighting for that, 13th spot, and I'm sure Ross the boss is going to get that 14th spot like he always does, and that's your team, man. So I'm not overly excited until we start playing games in 6 days. We've got the Panthers on the 13th. So
hey, I know we're running short, so maybe we do a more of a preview next week. But I agree with everything you say. Salo, I think, has won the job. I watched them last night too. They looked good against Jersey. Especially the backs, especially the blue line. But I do want to say the forwards actually looked like they were moving last night, which was kind of nice to see. And I want to give a shout out to Holmstrom and Ratu. They probably aren't breaking camp, as you mentioned, but they looked really good last night. We might have something there with those guys. I think Bellows makes the team. I don't know if you have Wallstrom on the roster. I think there's a good chance he starts in Bridgeport, the way things are going. That or he's hurt. I don't think they just I don't think they would put Bellows on waivers. And since Wallstrom can be sent down, I think that's a good possibility.
I don't know. I think that's part of why Lou got Trotz out and put Lane in, because he wants more out of Wallstrom.
Yeah.
So unless he's hurt, I don't understand why we would send him to Bridgeport. if we're putting him on IR so we can get Bellows on the team. But the kid that they signed from Toronto, from the KHL,
He looks good too.
I mean, he looks fine, but I think he's a guy that they can put in down to Bridgeport, and if he goes back to the KHL, I don't think anyone's losing any sleep over it. So
probably not, but it's a little frustrating since the fourth line is cemented. He would look good on a fourth line. As an
I mean, Lane.
But you're right. It's not a big
deal. He definitely said he wasn't married to the energy line anymore. So.
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah, he came out and said, "I'm not married to anything. I'm happy to see where the right fits are and figure out the right combinations." So,
good.
Between them all, I mean, Cizikas is your fourth line center.
Yeah, but Martin Clutterbuck, who knows? So
yeah. I mean, Martin's a guy.
Maybe flexibility. I love those guys. Don't get me wrong. But
me too, but I don't want them playing 81 games this year. 80 games.
They've been fourth liners for like 10 years on this team.
Right.
Right. So long for checkers,
Yes, I think to your point, they are going to be there, and that's why I do think Ross makes the team, because he can do what they do, but he can also, I believe, get sent down to Bridgeport. And I don't think if his contract
he can get buried, and you're right, like they won't take him because of all the years, right? There's like 3
so I don't think his contract's hard to put into Bridgeport if that was what was best for the franchise.
That's true.
So I'm not. If you think Soshnikov is the guy, and I don't know. Whatever.
I think you do lose Bellows though if you waive him.
I don't think we're putting Bellows on waivers. I think Bellows is going to be, your top line. We'll do the whole thing next week, but your top six are, who your bottom six are, and Bellows is your 13th forward, and either Ross or the other kid we just talked about are your 14th forward, and that's how it's going to be. I don't see us sending Wallstrom down unless he's hurt, and then you keep all three of those guys, right? So, yeah. All right, Dougie. Well, what do you got to say,
dude? I don't have one this week. Do you? I've been racking my brains. I can give you a preliminary one, but it might be a jinx. So, do you have one?
I think Vio Con Dios to the Aaron Judge home run chase.
That's a good one, because that was fucking tedious.
It was very tedious.
Brutal.
Very tedious.
Make it stop. And of course, all the old heads with the hot takes, like, oh, this is the real record. And I'm just like, I'm scrolling past it all. Just shut up. Mute. Shut up.
So
stop.
All right, Dougie, it's been a good episode. I'm hoping to get back on a regular cadence. I got a baby on the way.
No, we get it, and early start today. So sorry we missed you all in the audience. We'll get live again next week, right?
All right, guys. Until next week.